On a crisp autumn morning, the streets of downtown Willow Creek bustled with life. Among the moving crowd, a man named Samuel Gray sat quietly on a worn-out bench near the towering headquarters of Lumora Corporation. Samuel's scruffy beard, tattered jacket, and tired eyes made him indistinguishable from the countless others struggling on the streets. But there was something different about him, an air of quiet dignity, as though life's hardships hadn't entirely dimmed his spirit. Samuel wasn't a man who begged for change or extended his hand for favors. Instead, he observed the world with a peculiar calmness. He spent most of his days there, reading old books he picked up from secondhand stores or watching people rush by. Few stopped to notice him, let alone speak to him. Inside Lumora Corporation, Marcus Steele, the CEO, was preparing for yet another day filled with meetings, power lunches, and decisions that could make or break fortunes. Marcus was a man in his early 40s, sharp and ambitious, with a reputation for being both ruthless and innovative. He prided himself on his success, having built Lumora into one of the most profitable companies in the city. One day, as Marcus left his office for lunch, he spotted Samuel sitting on the same bench as always. Something about the man caught his attention. Maybe it was the contrast between the wealth and power surrounding him and the quiet resilience in Samuel's demeanor. Marcus decided to approach him. "Good afternoon," Marcus said, his tone polite but firm. Samuel looked up from his book, his eyes calm but guarded. "Afternoon," Samuel replied, his voice steady. "I've noticed you here often. Do you need any help? Perhaps a warm meal or a place to stay?" Marcus offered. Samuel shook his head. "I'm fine, thank you." Marcus frowned. He was used to people jumping at the chance for help, especially from someone like him. "Are you sure? I can arrange something for you. No strings attached." "I appreciate the offer," Samuel said, "but I don't take what I don't need." This intrigued Marcus. Most people wouldn't turn down such an offer, especially someone in Samuel's position. "What if I told you I could help you get back on your feet? A job, maybe?" Samuel smiled faintly. "Not all help is what it seems, Mr. Steele." Marcus was taken aback. "How do you know my name?" Samuel chuckled softly. "Your name's on that building behind you. Hard to miss." The interaction left Marcus puzzled. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Samuel than met the eye. Several weeks later, Lumora faced an unexpected crisis. The company had plans to expand its operations and had invested heavily in building a new facility on a plot of land near the city's outskirts. However, a legal dispute emerged. The land's ownership was unclear, and construction had to be halted. This delay was costing Lumora millions. Marcus, frustrated and determined, ordered his legal team to resolve the issue quickly. But the more they dug, the murkier the situation became. Eventually, they discovered something astonishing. The land wasn't owned by a corporation or a real estate conglomerate, but by an individual. The owner's name was Samuel Gray. Marcus couldn't believe it. The homeless man he had tried to help owned the very land on which his company's future depended. Conflicted, Marcus decided to confront Samuel. He found him on the same bench, reading as usual. "Samuel," Marcus said, his tone less composed than before. Samuel looked up, recognizing the tension in Marcus's face. "What can I do for you, Mr. Steele? You own the land we're trying to develop. Why didn't you tell me?" Samuel closed his book slowly. "You never asked." Marcus was at a loss for words. "Why are you living like this if you own something so valuable?" Samuel's eyes softened. "Because money doesn't define happiness, Mr. Steele. I've had wealth before. It didn't bring me peace." Samuel revealed his story. He was once a successful businessman, much like Marcus. He built his fortune through hard work and smart investments. But tragedy struck when his wife and young daughter were killed in a car accident. Grief consumed him, and he walked away from everything. "I sold most of what I owned, kept the land because it reminded me of simpler times. I didn't want the weight of wealth anymore. It's not that I'm homeless, Mr. Steele. I choose to live simply," Samuel explained. Marcus was deeply moved. For the first time in years, he saw beyond profits and power. He saw a man who had chosen a path few could understand, but one that was true to his heart. In the weeks that followed, Marcus and Samuel formed an unlikely bond. Samuel agreed to lease the land to Lumora, but only under one condition. The company had to allocate a significant portion of its profits to community development and helping those in need. Reluctantly at first, Marcus agreed. But as the initiative took shape, he began to see its impact. The program not only transformed the lives of many in the community, but also revitalized Marcus's own sense of purpose. Years later, Lumora became known not just for its success, but for its contributions to society. And every so often, Marcus would visit the bench where Samuel sat, the two men sharing stories, lessons, and a quiet understanding that some of life's greatest wealth cannot be measured in dollars. Samuel Gray, the man who had seemed like he had nothing, had changed everything. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.